Kanuho for his excellent presentation and the thorough information he provided for all in attendance. They invited the tribal leaders in attendance an opportunity to share their programs, projects they had going on at their respective nations, and I was able to speak on behalf of the nation's agricultural department, greenhouse initiative, cattle operations, in addition to our current funded USDA projects, and inform them of the work and initiatives of the Pawnee Seed Preservation Society. Reorganization. We as a council have been redesigning our organization to create a team that provides and support opportunities to learn, live, heal, grow, and work as a community. The advancements we are working on require us to navigate through complex but progressive terrain. We have many talented and determined groups and individuals in our workforce who work selflessly to research, prepare documents, and develop presentations so informed decisions are made. We are always grateful for their efforts. White Fox Initiative on September, White Fox Initiative, ongoing White Fox Repatriation Initiative, sent a letter on August 9th to Ashley Fry with the United States Department of State to thank them for the opportunity to participate in the International Repatriation Museum Exchange Program. This letter also outlined our intent to engage with the National Museum of World Cultures regarding the possessions of White Fox and potentially the Karolinska Institute at the University of Stockholm to discuss future repatriation efforts. Also on August 9th, a letter was sent to Carl Magnusson, Chief of Staff, Acting Director of Collections for the National Museums of World Culture, and again identifying our designated point of contact for the Pawnee Nation. On August 14th, we received correspondence from Mr. Magnusson identifying potential dates for a virtual meeting to initiate discussions, dialogue regarding the nation's repatriation efforts and intent. We are still awaiting a virtual meeting and have been working on logistics for potential travel to Sweden in spring of 2024. DOI self-governance efforts. On August 9th, we met with the Department of Interior Office of Self-Governance and developed a compact for the Secretary of Interior's review and approval. The compact is to carry out self-governance programs, functions, services, and activities as authorized by Title IV, Public Law 93-638 as amended. The document transfers control of the tribe's selected PSFAs from the federal government to the nation. The nation will meet again with OSG to discuss negotiation efforts and the programs to be assumed and their associated funding, as well as identifying any other funds the nation is eligible for in carrying out the PFSAs within these programs. As a result of our negotiation efforts on August 14th, the Pawnee Nation signed a compact of self-governance between the Pawnee Nation and the United States Department of Interior. This was forwarded to the Secretary of the Interior for signature. We received notification via email that this has been signed by the Assistant Secretary of Indian Affairs, Brian Newland, and a hard copy mailed to the nation on September 29, 2023. Our internal team continued to meet to identify funding information which we had yet to receive to make sound decisions regarding our negotiation efforts, and continued to work on drafting a funding agreement prior to our next meeting, which was held on the 18th. We received a wealth of information, reviewed and discussed with the Southern Plains Regional Office and the Office of Self-Governance, and was able to reach an acceptable funding agreement and reprogramming request to begin in 2024. This was signed on October 18, 2023, and is awaiting approval by the Director of the Office of Self-Governance. On October 15th at 10 a.m., at the Pawnee Nation Safety Center conference room, the PBC attended required Constitution classes as required in the Constitution for our elected/re-elected PBC members, and included additional informational presentations and refresher trainings on important tribal issues and topics relevant to overseeing tribal administration endeavors. Tobacco Compact negotiations. On September 25th, the nation received a letter from Matthew Morgan, chairman of the Oklahoma Indian Gaming Authority, which was sent to the Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt, President Pro Temp of the Oklahoma Senate Greg Treat, and Speaker of the Oklahoma House of Representatives Charles McCall, stating the undersigned tribes believed there was too much polarization in tribal-state relationship. However, the tribes remain committed to working together to service the needs of tribal members and citizens of Oklahoma in good faith should there be a return to respectful government-to-government negotiations. The tribes also requested negotiating under an appropriate intergovernmental confidentiality agreement. Governor Stitt responded with a letter delivered via email on October 2nd, which declined such an arrangement and cited doing so would be in a manner that was not fully transparent. He further stated his team was committed to meeting any time to discuss terms beneficial to all parties. He asked for a point of contact for the tribes that endorsed the letter and hoped that approving a deal with one of them would equate to a deal with all of them. If his understanding was incorrect, he asked that he be contacted to advise otherwise. To date, the OIGA has not responded, but the tribes who signed the letter remain in solidarity on the issue. Canoe business endeavor. On September 21st, 2023, the Pawnee Nation reached a historic and first-of-its-kind agreement with Canoe Technologies to work together to deploy zero-emission vehicles and promote employment and seek other entrepreneurial opportunities relative to the identified needs of the nation. 4 areas of the focus of this agreement: building workforce skills in zero-emission vehicles and other clean energy technologies. Second, developing qualified suppliers of parts and services needed for the zero-emission vehicle industry. Third, supporting STEM education by connecting Pawnee students to internships and employment opportunities in clean energy fields. And fourth, the Pawnee Nation will place an initial order for canoe vehicles that will be built in Oklahoma. And that concludes my report. The next item we have is the Pawnee Business Council travel request. Do we have any travel requests? Hearing none, we'll move on to item 6.
Can't hear you.
No. Approval for Donna to attend NCAI.
Didn't we do it by email?
We just did it by email.
Yeah.
Do we need to do it formally?
Yeah, should we did it by email?
Okay.
Would be, since it's an agenda item.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the travel request for Councilwoman Hare to attend NCAI.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion by Councilwoman Butler. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Dr. Evans. Any further discussion? No further discussion. We'll call for the vote.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman?
yes,
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Sammy Kimball?
Yes.
Travel request approved. Next item we have is item 6, Pawnee Nation College report. Good evening.
Thank you. The Pawnee Nation College Board of Trustees, we met at our annual retreat October the 12th and the 13th. And we also met for our scheduled quarterly board meeting on October the 14th. At the Board of Trustee meeting on October the 14th, the members unanimously selected myself to serve as President Chair of the Pawnee Nation College Board of Trustees. Zachary Murphy, who is my grandson, Board of Trustee member, he's been on the board for over 3 years now, was unanimously voted as co-chair for myself as well at the meeting. And I always say that this position, me being president and my grandson co-chair, I'm the heart of the Pawnee Nation College, and he's the brains of the Pawnee Nation College. And so this works perfect for both of us. And so Zachary Murphy, Board of Trustee member, was unanimously voted as co-chair as well at the meeting. The Pawnee Nation College Board of Trustees is pleased to announce that we have 3 new Board of Trustee members, Mr. Charles Gover and Mr. Jordan Canujo. from the council. And yesterday, Alexander Hessinger was voted as a trustee for Pawnee Nation College. And I think all of these additions that we have, will really give us guidance and direction as we grow into our accreditation that we're going to have for the Pawnee Nation College. And Stacy Burns continues to serve as the interim president of Pawnee Nation College. She continues her duties as the National Telecommunications and Information Administration, the NTIA, and the Native American Career and Technical Education Program, NACTEP, project director. And Ms. Burns continues to also serve as the authorized representation for representative for Pawnee Nation College in all matters. This will include all existing memos and MOUs and the continuance of all educational programs on campus, as well as the expansion of programs via distance learning platforms in conjunction with Nebraska Indian Community College, or NICC. Pawnee Nation College is pleased to announce on June the 5th, 2023, Pawnee Nation College accreditation partner, NICC, will begin offering bachelor's degrees and the courses in the fall of 2023 semester. And the degree is a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration and Tribal Nation Building. As a nonprofit organization, Pawnee Nation College recognizes the importance of partnerships as they provide vital strengths and opportunities, as with the Pawnee Nation Behavioral Health Facility to be built late spring of 2024. We need more space for our health and medical certification programs to be housed. As Pawnee Nation College, we vision is to expand the entire campus for faculty and students. Pawnee Nation College is excited for this partnership with the Behavioral Health Facility endeavor, as this will spotlight current curricula in place and be a foundation to grow our Pawnee Nation College educational efforts to possibly offer additional health and medical certification programs right there in Pawnee Nation College. This effort will provide our students with the professional medical job skills necessary to be competitive in the healthcare job market. And Stacy Burns, interim president, has met all the NACTEP reporting requirements for this grant period and continues to meet all project objectives and performances measured successfully. Pawnee Nation College NTIA grant, Tribal Broadband Connectivity Programs Award Action request for the no-cost extension for the NTIA grant was previously approved on May the 10th of 2023, and the performance technical report and the financial expenditure report were successfully submitted. Pawnee Nation College is presently waiting for approval of the change in scope and re-budget for the NTIA grant project. Ms. Burns successfully applied and submitted a grant application for the Department of Justice, Office for Victims of Crime, 2023, developing future victim specialists to serve American Indians of crime in June of 2023. On September 19, 2023, Ms. Burns was notified Pawnee Nation College was awarded $500,000 for the grant project. This grant project enables Pawnee Nation College to develop a certificate in tribal legal advocacy, and it allows Pawnee Nation College to partner with the National Tribal Trial College at the University of Wisconsin and the Pawnee Nation Domestic Violence Department, along with the 7 other tribes in our service areas. The deliverables are certifications in tribal victim advocacy, tribal court legal advocacy, and crime victim specialists, including a 12-month paid internship. The project's performance period began October the 1st, 2023, and will be a 3-year project ending September the 30th, 2026. Pawnee Nation College is pleased to announce we have 86 students enrolled for the fall 2023 semester, and 5 additional previous Pawnee Nation College graduates began their bachelor's degree program at NICC. And the quarterly goals and objectives, description on activities conducted. The Board of Trustee quarterly meetings were established with our next Board of Trustee meeting scheduled for December the 16th, 2023, here in Pawnee. Creation of a strategic roadmap embedded within the strategic plan aligned with HLC accreditation criterion to ensure Pawnee Nation College can properly provide evidence needed to prepare for the accreditation application. The new objective for the next quarter is to continue with college assessment and planning of strategic goals, and the Board of Trustee Appointment Committee for bylaws and articles of incorporation was addressed at our October 12th, 14th meeting annual retreat. They will be addressed at our upcoming quarterly Board of Trust meeting on December the 16th of this year. And establish new relationships. Pawnee Nation College has developed an MOU with Pawnee Nation to initiate training of tribal staff for positions within new health and education areas via funding from the HRSA grant. The Department of Justice Office for Victims of Crime grant, the award for Pawnee Nation College with the 8 federally recognized tribes of northern Oklahoma and Pawnee Nation College service area includes Pawnee, the Osage, the Tonkawa, the Sac and Fox, the Iowa, the Oto Missouri, the Ponca tribe, and Kaw Nation. The travel and training, the quarterly meetings of the Board of Trustees, it's not applicable. In the financial reporting, Pawnee Nation College will discuss and vote on the new formula agreement with Nebraska Indian Community College regarding the tuition reimbursement payment prior to our next scheduled Board of Trustee meeting. Pawnee Nation College, our conclusion is Pawnee Nation College will continue with efforts to establish accreditation criterion to present with 3 to 5 years of the Higher Learning Commission, HLC. And that's the end of my report.
All right.
Do I have
Thank
any
you, Chairwoman
questions?
Clapp. Is there any questions for Ms. Clapp? Yes, Councilwoman Butler.
Thank you for that report. It's always exciting to see people going after their education. I know we do have a couple of people in our office that we encourage to enroll this semester, so we're really excited for them because they're always working on homework. So I just graduated, and it's exciting to see them be excited about it. But I'm always all like, I'm just glad I'm finished. But I do have a question. I know that this was discussed maybe prior, but you talk about growth and talking about you guys trying to grow, you need extra space and stuff like that. Are you guys going to think about going after additional funding to build? Because I know that in the past, I think the council designated the area of land for the college to build an actual school. Are you guys maybe looking at doing that and building right there where you guys were designated? Or have you looked at options of going into the city of Pawnee and leasing a building to maybe do classes within the over there? Just some questions that kind of popped up in my head whenever you talked about growth. How are we going to do that growth? How's that growth going to happen?
Yeah, we've been going round and round with this, Dr. Evans.
Would you use the microphone?
Yeah. The mic.
Is it on? There's just not a lot of places for us. We've looked building after building. We thought about it. We've actually toured a few, like the COVID building. We looked at offices there. Like we are really, we can't grow anymore. Like we can't do any more grants or anything, or we're not going to have anywhere to put them. So yeah, we are. It's on our radar. It's just a lot of things that have to come into place, especially to build. We'd have to have the funding and so.
And I feel like my vision of the campus is to be there, you know, where the boarding school was. I mean, that whole area. I mean, to me, that's what our people, you know, were not treated right. And then to have something so good now with our education and having it right there on that campus, to me, that's just real sacred ground, honestly. And whether we build there or, you know, and or fix some of the buildings that are there and just have campus, you know, a campus there, you know, and grow with that. And I know a vision is, you know, to receive a grant and do that, you know, and that's what we vision for. But what we have now, I mean, with our students that we have that are growing so, you know, and that really helps us, you know, to receive financial
justify it.
money, you know. But that's just my personal vision, yeah.
And then has the board, have you guys discussed when you're going to hire for the president position? And I assume that you would apply for it as well, but, you know, have you guys made a determination on when you're going to get a full-time president?
You know, right now, Stacy, you know, is doing all of this. I mean, all of this, you know, head of all the grants and everything. And she's doing a good job. Plus, she had to do a lot of catch-up also when she took office, you know, when she was interim president. And so right now, we're just going to get all this done. And then
worry about
and
that.
then go from there and see, you know. She's done a terrific job and is still doing a terrific job, you know.
I agree.
Yes, we agree.
And we're very blessed. We're very blessed.
And then last question, or actually it's just a request. When you said that you guys were revising your articles of incorporation and some of your other policies, but if the tribe could get a copy of that, and then whenever you guys get done, whenever your board approves it, that's just so that they can file it in the executive office, but we also file our governing documents with the tribal court to make a record. But then I also have a question for Jen on that, and I don't know if maybe, Mr., you could answer it, because I've been thinking about the Federal Registry. Do we have to submit our laws and to the Federal Registry, and how do we do that? Do we have a process for doing that? Should we develop a process when a governing document gets, whenever a
Yeah.
governing document gets approved, that we go through a certain process for it? Because I know we have to, it goes to the executive office, they send it out to, you know, whatever law that is, they send it out to whatever entities, and then we do file it at the tribal court so that the court has a copy of all of our documents. But I didn't know if the Federal Registry was part of that. Is it for certain laws, or is it just?
Yeah, that would
Because
be
I've seen
part- that's-
I've seen our terror laws be in the Federal Registry. This was years ago. I saw where it was in that, so I wasn't
I
for
don't know
sure.
if it's, I don't know if it's something that Terrell mirrored, maybe, because I couldn't see us filing.
Filing.
There's a process to get something published in the Federal Register, and I just don't see us following that process. I mean, it's
Okay.
pretty stringent.
I thought of that the other day, and I was like, so I just wanted to pose the
Yeah,
question.
it might have been vice versa. They may have mirrored what was already in the Code of Federal
In the co-
Regulations.
Okay, all right. But just make that request, that way they can file that with the courts, because it's still under the Pawnee Nation, our governing documents. We're trying to keep track of all of our governing documents that come through. So, but, great report, thank you.
Right.
And if you don't mind, I would just like to start off and say how much I appreciate Ms. Burns. You know, her work has been extraordinary to really get the college back on its feet and moving in a really good direction. So much appreciation there. I'm very happy that Ms. Clapp has taken over as the president of the Board of Trustees, because she really is the heart of, as she said, but she is the heart of our board, and that positive energy that we need to move on to get to that next step, because there's so much work involved there.
Yeah.
And it's hard, you know, to briefly say it, but the documentation just alone is huge. And I wanted to mention Dr. Les Writing In, who's been our past president for the past several years, who's done a fantastic job. He's still staying on our board, but I wanted to say how much he's appreciated. Coming, from Arlington or from Dallas area up to do that job for these years.
Yes.
And the last thing I wanted to say is, we're still, for a little while more, we're still at $1 a semester hour.
Mm-hmm.
And people need to
Take advantage.
take advantage of that. And I've just heard just recently folks saying, well, but you can't transfer your hours, and that's just so not true. We've had students who've gone on to OU and OSU and, Nebraska, NICC. Do we have anybody who went to the University of Nebraska? I know we have a deal with them to be able to do that, but memorandum of agreement. But that is, and I know that's a fear that people have, but your credits will count. This is a real college, and people are doing great things. And they've gone on to we've had folks who've gone into OU and OSU, but for advanced degrees, and they are competing and doing well. It's not like they're going there and then getting squashed because they didn't have a good enough education.
Right.
You can tell it makes me a little angry, but we are doing something special here, and it's easy to feel like, oh, how could we do something like that in Pawnee? How could we do something that's important and that builds something from our small little part of the world? But we can and we are. We just have to have the faith to be a part of it. And, take advantage. So that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Thank you, Councilman
And
Evans.
I had a question, if I could. I wanted to congratulate the school. You're doing such a great job. This DOJ grant, I've already received probably about 8 calls about it, so thank you. I have a question, though. So one of the questions I had was, can anybody get this certificate to be a victim advocate? Do you have to already have a bachelor's, or can you have a high school degree and do this? What is the minimum education for you to apply for this?
Our project partners are coming.
Oh, microphone.
Our project partners from the University of Wisconsin are coming next week. So we have a planning day Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all day. And so we're going to get all that worked out.
Great.
So.
Great.
and
Will you
we're-
let me know?
Yes,
And
I
then I
will.
can share that on
Yes.
Facebook and get
Yes.
that out with
Yes,
everybody?
I
Because
will.
this is a huge deal.
It's going to be competitive.
Yes.
I can tell you that. It's going
I'm
to be
sorry?
competitive.
Yes.
And there's 15 spots that they're given PNC. So we
Okay.
do know that much. We wrote that in. So,
Okay.
But I'll have a lot more
Great.
information after next
Okay,
week.
thank
Yeah.
you.
And then we have training Wednesday.
Great. And then also I wanted to share real quick, because it's not on my quarterly report, because it just happened, but we had court training, our Supreme Court had training, and they all got together, Creek Nation, some of the judges from the BIA got together, as well as individuals, students from the school of Law in Kentucky, and they've donated $2,100 for scholarships for Pawnee Nation College. They just threw money together. I didn't even know it was going to happen. And so I took that money over there. Because of $1 of credit, they were like, they should be able to help a lot of students get an education. So that was so wonderful. So
okay.
thank you.
Yes. Okay, any further questions? If not, we'll excuse you. Thank you. Okay. At this time, we're moving on to item number 8, Pawnee Nation Tribal Development Report. I don't know if anyone's here to present. It's in your... Oh. Good evening.
Hello, Noah.
Good evening.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we're turning it over to you.
Okay, thank you. Pulling off my notes here from our CEO. He has lowered the overtime by 60%. By reiterating, some people started, and we started live entertainment, reduced head count, written a few policies and procedures, extended hours at the trading post, opened up to 20 acres for use. Okay, and then getting down into it, the trading post. On August 1st, we extended our hours from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., 5 days a week. Over the last 18 months, we have lost an average of 10,000 a month. The first month we extended the hours, we made 10,000. As we get staffing, we'll extend those hours to 7 days a week. This should help turn around their performance even more. Okay, our 12 acres in Yale, we're still waiting on the land to get placed in trust. With the decision on the corporate charter, we can submit the application. I believe you had a meeting with our attorney and our president. Is that right?
We had a meeting with the attorney, not the president,
Okay,
but he came and made a presentation.
okay. All right, and then, so this goes to the new casino, and the note is that, and what we have is a new casino may have to wait a year or two. The application to have the Yale land placed in the trust has not been submitted yet. I've gotten with the BIA to see what other land is in the general vicinity, all around the Highway 51 and Highway 18 that is already in trust that we could possibly buy. In November, we will send a letter of interest to a few of the trust landowners in that area to see if they have any interest in selling their land. Even if we find a seller, the BIA said it could take a year to 18 months to close the deal. Next item is OSU affiliation. And we're going to try to renegotiate our OSU agreement because having the pregame show in the Wolf Restaurant isn't bringing in the crowd that was originally anticipated. Thinking about doing the pregame show for away games along with a tailgate party on the 20 acres. We'll have OSU bring in the large truck that has a huge TV on the side so all the tailgaters can watch the game after the pregame show. May have food and drinks for everyone or bring in food trucks along with the games throughout the day. As far as our debt, he has met with several venture capitalist groups and a few banks about refinancing their current debt early next year. Doesn't seem like it will be a problem, but interest rates are much higher, as we all know, than when we originally incurred the debt. The 20 acres north of Stonewolf has been cleared, and we will do the final pampering to get the ground a little smoother over the winter months. He's spoken to grant writer that is looking for some public money that may be able to help turn the property into the park that we envision. We plan on using the land for tailgate parties, outdoor concerts, car shows, sporting tournaments, movie nights, craft fairs, music festivals, maybe even the powwows. Stonewolf Casino, live music started at the Wolf on October 20th. First night was pretty good. We will have live music every Friday night, with the fourth Friday of each month being karaoke night. In the spring, we'll probably move the live music into the park. Growth of new ventures may be a waiting game because of the large debt. No trust land to build a second larger casino. Long vendor contract with one of our GCG, but we should be able to grow with the facilities we already have. Even when we get the debt paid off, we aren't just limited to gaming or convenience stores. You know, we could do self-storage, boats, RV storage, car washes, RV parks, are all very low overhead businesses that make money. We can open businesses, buy businesses, or partner with others on businesses. The key is when we spend money, we spend it on revenue-generating assets. So our going over some of our numbers, our third quarter gaming revenue is up 3% over last year. Stonewolf is up 13%. Trading Post is up 15%. TP is down 1% over last year. Third quarter retail revenue is down 10% over last year. Third quarter food and beverage revenue is down 4% over last year. And TDC had a year-to-date net income after all transfers of 370% higher than last year. All rents, assessments, debts have been paid and are current. And that concludes that report.
Thank you, Jeff. Councilwoman Kimball?
Yeah, hi, Jeff. Thank you very much for your report, and I understand we have a written report as well. I just missed that last piece of your talk because you kind of faded out. I just heard 370%. What was that?
That was our year-to-date net income after all our transfers.
So you're telling me that your income increased 370%? Am I hearing that right?
Well, that's what the note said. I didn't get a chance to get into that number with him. I'll have to reach out and get back with you guys.
Would you mind doing that
Sure.
for us?
Yeah.
Put it in writing. I just questioned that number. It's just weird. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I
It's
didn't
okay.
have time to get into this before I got on.
And I apologize because I haven't read your report either. So, yeah, if we could just figure that piece out, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, he did say the net, so maybe that is correct. Well, that's what I'm saying. If you take that 5 minus.
And that's
the
all I
2,
had,
it's
Jeff. Thank you
3,
very much.
Or maybe 2 something.
Okay.
Okay, any other council have questions for Mr. Goodfox? Hearing none, we'll dismiss you, Jeff. Thank you for your report.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thank you, you too. Next item we have is item number 10, Pawnee Nation Attorney General Report. Attorney General Smith,
Oh, executive director?
oh, did I miss?
Yeah.
Oh, we went. Okay. Oh, we missed housing too. Why didn't you speak up?
I'm secretary, I'm not housing.
Okay, let's go back to item number 7, Pawnee Nation Housing Authority Report. And for the record, I also want to note that Councilwoman Hare has joined the meeting at 6:42 PM.
Thank you, President. Yeah, I must have overlooked that Housing Authority report. My bad. Just kidding. So we just want to update everybody. I mean, this was for July, August, and September, but we had talked about previously that we were going to go after that 14 acres for $205,000. Well, we have our earnest money in there, and it still is not closed. We don't have a closing date. They still have to remove the structure and all the junk on the property. So we have no idea when we might actually be able to close and own it outright. But during this time period, we did move on another house at 305 Ash. And that actually did close, and we own it now as of October 31st. So we are already, it is going to need some work, so we're already entertaining some contractors to modernize it. So we're in that process, and I'm not too sure for what we're going to do with it yet. We're actually talking about possibly a lease purchase, but we don't know yet. Just depends, because it's going to be a significant amount invested in this that we'd like to, possibly have it for a family. But that's something that we're working on, getting that up to date and getting that available to our membership, whatever we decide to do with it. And also, we put out advertisement for energy coordinator, which will be working with the REP grant that Tribute Grant brought to us and got approved, that grant.
Maybe we should wait a little bit then.
But currently,
Maybe we should wait a little bit then.
I don't know. But currently, we have one applicant, and we just recently submitted advertisements through the Oak Holly and Stillwater. It's a healthy salary, but it is part-time, so it's 20 hours a week for 3 years. So we're trying to get somebody locally who can possibly, the commute wouldn't be so long to make it worthwhile for them. But we have been talking to Tribute Quint, and they have actually discussed possible other venues that we can look at as far as advertising, even in Tulsa, as they were discussing possibly having a satellite office in Tulsa that maybe somebody could work out of there through our.
What is that, energy coordinator?
So the energy coordinator will be, as part of the REP grant application. It was a position that we talked about and discussed before they put in for the application. But that person is supposed to be working at with housing to coordinate. There's 160 energy sensors that will need to be transplanted throughout our community to get the data for the energy. So they're going to be doing that, and they're also part of community, working with the community and doing workshops. I think I don't know how many they were scheduled in the grant. I think there was 8 or 9, I can't remember, but different workshops with home efficiency is what they want to discuss. So currently, we only have one
Home
applicant.
energy efficiency.
Yes.
So that's a shout out to our tribal members listening to
Yes,
take a look at that.
I want our tribal members to know that we have an open job
It's a
opportunity.
great opportunity.
At Pawnee Nation Housing Authority, so you can go to our website, it is on our website, all the details are there, you can submit your application through our website as well. So yeah, we're looking for a qualified candidate, at least more than the one we got. I mean, we only have one applicant, so we'd like to get more for, do some interviews. But I know this is supposed to be phase 1 of the RIP grant, and they're waiting on us to get this going. So to our tribal members out there, please, if you feel like, you'd like to look at it, because it's on our website. All the information is there. And I think that's about it. The updates that we had for housing.
Do you have any financials for us or no?
Yeah, they're in our report. Our
I
financial.
apologize, I didn't-
Oh, yeah. Our financial Denny she's really good at that. So, yeah, she's got really great, it's always in our reports if you look at the book. Yeah.
I'll look at it.
Okay.
I have one question. On these energy sensors, are there specific homes that they're supposed to go in? Is it like low-income homes? Is it any home? Is
It's
it?
all inclusive. They want it, the more diversity, the better.
Okay.
So we can, different bedroom sizes, different income sizes. I mean, yeah, they all
Looking for
want that
data.
data. Yeah.
Okay.
And one more question, George.
Yes.
So when we're ready to launch that, we'll be advertising that, and everybody will have an equal opportunity to apply or whatever it is for that.
Yeah,
That
it's
scope.
open now.
It's open now?
It's open now, yeah, I think, did we have the tribe put it out for us? I think the tribe put it on the Pawnee Nation website, I think, but I know it's on our PawneeNationHousing.org website.
Can you also put it in the chief?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really,
yeah, we can.
Okay.
She's talking about the application process. Are you talking about to do the energy?
to do it, yeah.
No, that process
Okay.
Hasn't
I thought you were-
started
I was
yet.
still talking about energy coordinator, sorry.
Okay, no, okay, no, I get it. Okay, so I was talking about actually the
The home, the
home
sensors.
improvements, right?
Right,
So that
so-
hasn't been launched.
No, this is just for data initially,
Uh-huh.
but we are, like the Northeast, that office. Anyway, we were talking about weatherization before, and I know we've talked about this, but we still have to get with them as far as they will come to our community and we'll have an application process through that to cover the weatherization of homes around here, which could go for a lot, I mean,
Yeah,
really.
that's real helpful.
But I haven't followed up. I've been really busy, but that
I-
is something that's
yeah,
on the.
I saw one of our elders at the clinic, and he was really, he was really stressing out about his utilities that are going to be coming up here. That he's already paying, crazy amounts, and it's just going to get worse as it gets colder. And
it's a major concern in our
he wanted to
community.
know what we were doing about it. So, this weatherization thing, it would be very timely, I think.
Yeah, I think so, okay.
After
I'll make sure I don't,
108-degree weather for 45 days, and we're going to drop into the 20s, I'm sure. Pretty quick here. Thank you.
I agree.
Okay, thank you for that report. Going now to item number 9, Pawnee Nation Executive Director Report.
Yes, thank you. So we had a really busy third quarter. We focused, some of the items I know Madam President has covered, so I'm going to leave out, omit those items and just go over mine because I did submit an 11-page report, so I don't want to go over all of it. If it's already been covered, I won't cover it. This past quarter, we were focusing on self-governance, maintaining traction on our strategic infrastructure initiative, specifically water and energy projects, as well as unprecedented the MOU with our canoe electric vehicles. And so some of the items that we had covered this year, omitting what Madam President has already put. Our emergency assistance, in July, we provided emergency assistance cards to the 10 counties that were affected by the storm in June. They were $250 cards, and I'm happy to say that we were able to distribute $97,000 to tribal citizens through those cards. And so we went to Tulsa twice to meet them halfway. We submitted cards, and also they went to our emergency management office where John James was, and they have that. And so we still have cards left over, which we will still use for any other emergencies that come our way, because it's money that we've already allocated, and it's for our tribal citizens. So we're just going to keep that tally going. But I was really happy to see the number was 97,000 that we were able to use, and that was 388 cards that we distributed. Also, this past quarter, one of the things that we did, which was really exciting, was our MOU with Canoe Electronic Cars. We focused on 4 things with Canoe, and this is something that we're working on. So right now, we're working with our infrastructure team on that, and I'll go into that a little bit more when I talk about our infrastructure goals. But the 4 things that we have in the MOU, just for our tribal citizens, just as a reminder, was we were going to focus on 4 areas with Canoe, and that was 1, building a workforce skills in zero-emission vehicles and other clean energy technologies. 2, developing qualified suppliers of parts and services needed for the zero-emission vehicle industry. 3, supporting STEM education by connecting Pawnee students to internships and employment opportunities in clean energy fields through Pawnee Nation College. And then 4, the Pawnee Nation will place an initial order of canoe vehicles that will be built in Oklahoma. And that's, number 4, is what we're working on with our infrastructure task force. And I'll get on with that when I get to that section. Trauma-informed training program, we started that in quarter 1. Quarter 2, we've worked on it, and then our third quarter, now we're getting a lot more data from that. So what our trauma-informed training is, it's not so much, that's training with our staff. It's not really for our staff, it is getting data from our staff to see how Pawnee Nation policies can be more trauma-informed. It's seeing how leadership can do better, how our policies can be updated and really be geared towards 2023, and how we can make sure that we have a really good, well-rounded policies for a true multi-generational staff. And so we're getting all of that data together. Our Tewahe Award. We received in June a one-time $100,000 Tewahe funding to support families staying together. Our Tewahe funding, that's coming from the BIA, and that was through a letter of intent that we wrote last year for that, and that was for a $1 million funding. It would be every year. We didn't receive that, but they did like our letter of intent, so instead they gave us a one-time $100,000 amount. And so now we are working with our group on using that towards creating a evidence-based treatment for post-incarceration syndrome. So for people with felonies, as you know, there's a lot of recidivism in Pawnee. So seeing how we can tackle that and create a diversion program with our courts and use that then for a treatment center, treatment for our soon-to-be behavioral health facility. Oh my gosh, I couldn't get that out. So more to come on that. We're excited about that. Our Tribal Code Project, Attorney General Smith and Ms. Bonnie Hawkins, who is one of our WEX workers, have been working very diligently on this for our past, since quarter 1. And they've been working on reformatting 24 of our Pawnee Nation tribal codes. Our ordinance work group is now reviewing those codes, making sure that there's any edits or comments that need to be done on that. The next phase on that is then once it's scrubbed from our work group, then it will go to our governing docs group, who initially started this project, but we were just able to help get the website, a searchable website done, and that was a lot of work was done by Councilman Campbell for that. So thank you for that. And then it'll go to governing docs. Governing docs will do the final scrub. They will do the final vetting. And then if they feel like this is good, then it will go to Pawnee, to the, our council, then to be approved. And then it will be up on the website. So after all the codes are up on a searchable website, then there's 2 more phases. The next phase is then our internal team will then look at all of our codes that need to be updated, because there are some older codes that hasn't been updated, meaning there's no teeth. Just like there are codes for if you have a stalker, but there's nothing for consequences. What happens if you do get a stalker? So that needs to be updated. Then the second part of that is then work with our other team to find out, okay, so what codes do we not have that we need? There's a lot of laws we don't have. So that's the last phase of that. So this has been a lot of work, so we're looking forward to carrying on with that. White Fox was already taken care of by Madam President, so I will not go over that again. However, I'm happy to answer any questions at the end. Infrastructure Task Force. Like I said, one of the main things that we were working on this past quarter was water and energy. So water, if you remember, our ICDBG wastewater lagoon expansion project was approved by PBC. And what that is that right now we have 2 lagoons that are completely full. And it will be overly full once we have the behavioral health facility up and running, and then whenever IHS does their expansions. So in the meantime, we're using our ICDBG funding to build 2 more additional lagoons, and that's going to help us with 10,000 gallons of wastewater. And so in the midst of that, then we're also working with our task force. They've identified an EDA grant that would pay for and be able to maintain all of the infrastructure, engineering, everything for a potable wastewater treatment facility plant. So we're working on that right now. And one thing I'm really excited about is IHS is at the table with us. We brought everybody together at one time. IHS is helping us to see about getting all of the engineering information, anything that we may need for EDA grant. They're going to help us and actually be a partner in submitting that EDA grant. So excited about that. Energy and transportation, like I talked about with Canoe. Right now, what the task force is working on is we've identified 2 areas that we can get Canoe vehicles on. The first one that's needed is CHRs. CHRs would be a great place for a vehicle because it would help us be able to get more people on the road and also go a little bit further in helping people. Second place is elders. We need more transportation for elders. So those are 2 places that our Department of Transportation and our infrastructure task force is working on directly with Canoe. Canoe is going to be meeting with us in the next month to then have our engineers come out and do environmentals to see where would the battery stations be, how could we do that, what would it look like, and so more to come in the next quarter's report on that. But specifically now we're looking at actually vehicles and where they would be at. Pawnee Nation College Partnership. I know I've talked a little bit about the funding that was provided to our scholarship, which we were really excited about. That was also a little nod to, we're trying to recruit judges, justices, lawyers, especially advocates. So this DOJ grant they have, it's really big. And I was really excited about that. So another partnership I know we've talked about is having our collaboration with the Pawnee Nation College on our director and management certificate curriculum. It would be a 12-month course, modules, 1 12-month course modules for managers and 1 for directors. I wanted to go over what that course would look like with you so you can hear what they are. And then there's a lot more in my report, but it's really good. So the 12-month supervision and management skills leadership, this would be for managers. Let me read some of the topics that goes over that. But first, let me preface this by saying, whenever I met with Pawnee Nation College, I didn't want to have a certificate program for managers and directors, something that you can learn from any workbook. I wanted stuff that the workbook and the textbooks don't teach you, something that only seasoned professionals can teach you, on-the-job stuff. Stuff like how to write an appropriate email, how to do HR issues. When do you do it? Who do you bring in the room with you? Simple things that nobody teaches you, only people that has been doing management for a long time, they know the tricks of the trade. This is the kind of stuff you need to learn, because you don't learn it in college. And a lot of people want to come out and be leaders, but no one gives them a chance. So, well, then let's teach you from the, we're going to teach people seasoned information. So, this is the 12-month curriculum for managers. There are 12 courses. I'm going to break them down. The first course would be responsibilities of a supervisor, and that covers responsibilities to management, your work group, and yourself, being a role model, handling mistakes. The second one, understanding leadership. What does leadership mean to you? About leadership, understanding your comfort zone, managing performance, servant leadership. The third month would be planning for success. How can planning help me? Getting things in order, mastering emails, time management tips, the parts of a good plan, the next steps. The fourth month, creating a motivational climate, behavioral reinforcement theory, expectancy theory, McClellan's needs theory, which is a fantastic one. The fifth month, interpersonal communication skills. What are common skills? Getting better at communication, probing techniques, active listening skills. The next training is giving feedback. 6 characteristics of effective feedback. Skill building exercise, receiving feedback. The next month, coaching skills, interpersonal communication skills, helping skills, mentoring skills, teaching skills, challenging skills. The next month, supervising friends and relatives. Transitioning from a friend to a boss. What if you're in the position to hire a friend? What do you do when a friend is hired? Steps for managing your relationships, guiding against potential problems. The next month is delegation, advantages and disadvantages, self-assessment, guidelines for success. The next month, managing diversity in the tribal workplace, defining diversity, advantages and disadvantages of diverse teams, conflict and creativity, how you can help diverse teams succeed, self-assessment. The 11th month is managing conflict, the conflict resolution process, breaking down the process, when should a supervisor get involved, and the 12th month is managing challenging situations, step for a difficult conversation, communication skills for difficult situations, and case studies. Now, the next 12-month course is for directors. Management is very different than directors. Directors is going to be much more administrative, which you'll hear in the classes. The first month for directors is what is leadership, the leader's role, leaders versus management, indigenous versus Western perceptions of leadership, essential skills every leader needs, the leadership focus of 1, board and council members, 2, executives, 3, management. The next month is a leader's role in protecting and enhancing tribal sovereignty. Key terms and concepts, inherent sovereignty, retained sovereignty, government-to-government relationships, trust responsibility. The next month is safeguarding and exercising sovereignty through tribal constitution, bylaws, tribal civics and criminal codes, employment policies, tribal enrollment policies, economic development, tribal land use management, tribal courts, federal courts, jurisdiction. The next month is strategic thinking and leadership, setting a strategic direction, deciding on your organization or department's vision, mission, goals, thinking in terms of alignment, strategies for fostering an organizational culture that aligns with your strategic goals, group techniques for setting priorities effectively. That includes brainstorming, multi-voting, nominal group techniques, developing or evaluating policies and procedures, benefits and limitations of policies, understand the difference between policies and procedures, framework for evaluating policies, setting policies, tips for uncovering root causes, not just the symptoms, but what are the problems, strategies for thinking creatively to find hidden solutions. The next one is interpersonal skills for leaders, how to build trust, credibility, and respect, which consists of the 4 cornerstones of credibility, signs you trust and respect others, signs others trust and respect you, which is really important, warning signs of distrust to watch out for, trust building techniques, communication that builds trust, restoring trust after it's been breached. The next month is communicating like a leader. What is communication? Selecting the right means of communication for your message, active listening, questioning techniques, body language, making sure the message you intend is the one that's received. The next one is cultivating your emotional intelligence, which includes self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. The next month is interest-based negotiation and conflict management skills, identifying the root causes of conflict, guide to healthy debate, negotiation skills. The next one is improving interactions between board, council, executive staff, and management, which consists of roles of the board or council, roles of executive staff and management, the cornerstones of a good relationship between the board, council, and staff, identifying and analyzing frustrations between board, council, and staff, pros and cons of different models of board-staff interactions, which includes channeling structured interactions and collaborative governance, guidelines to clarifying board/staff contact, knowing how you should do it appropriately and what's inappropriate. Empowering and developing others, which includes understanding what motivates and inspires others. And through that, we'll go over Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Herzberg's two-factory theory, intrinsic and extrinsic motivation, identifying what motivates different individuals, understanding generational differences. Then we'll go over coaching, which is recognize the benefits of coaching, identify the role of the coach, understand the techniques involved in successful coaching, and how to conduct coaching lessons. The next one is mentoring. Mentoring and leadership. What does it take to be a mentor? Different types of mentoring. Mentoring checklist, mentoring code of ethics. And then essential elements of support programs for tribal member employees. That includes obtaining buy-in for the program, developing a plan, identifying barriers, offering support for the new hire, creating a contract for success, orientation, and bridge positions. The next one is time management for busy leaders. Tips and tricks for prioritizing tasks, identifying your personal obstacles to effective time management, eliminating low-yield activities. That's really about identifying your inefficiencies as a leader instead of blaming someone else for it. Effective delegation, why delegate, what to delegate, when to delegate, how to delegate, whom to delegate to, how to identify and avoid micromanagement. Holding yourself and others accountable for results, which includes set expectations, invite commitment, measure progress, provide feedback, link to consequences, evaluate effectiveness. Also, developing your own personal leadership brand. And this is the last one. That's finding your leadership strengths and weaknesses, uncovering your authentic leadership persona, and with an activity, create your own unique leadership brand statement. Those are the certified courses that we're still going to review with Pawnee Nation College to really focus in on making sure that everybody understands managers have a whole different track than directors. They're two separate things. The main thing is holding people accountable instead of blaming someone else. Okay, we did receive, the Pawnee Nation received a $600,000 opioid settlement. This was from the Purdue case, and through that settlement, that funding can be used for specific things. It's only for pre-addiction, addiction, post-addiction. And so I told Madam President that we're going to work on a plan of action, a couple of different scenarios that we can present to Treasurer Chapman, and then talk about, hey, here's some things, then we want to hear what the council would like, and then create a plan for that funding. And that way, it's not just, here's the money. It's that way you have your team to give you some ideas of what's needed in the community and hear from the people who work with the community. And then also, we had, I have two last things. One, we had the Pawnee Indian Veterans Homecoming in July. It was the first inaugural year on our reservation at the Moses Yellow Horse Memorial Field, and it was fantastic. And we had lots of great people that came together. Everybody just came together and made it work, and so we're looking forward for next year. Lastly, the conferences I attended the past quarter was Oklahoma Intertribal Tax Association, Tribal Energy Strategic Planning Summit, the USDA Nation to Nation Conference, and the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority. And that's what I have. I omitted the sections that Madam President covered. Does anyone have any questions?
All right, thank you. Yes, does anybody have any questions for Executive Director?
I have one.
Yes, Councilwoman Butler.
I have a question/comment. I know that in your trauma-informed program, and some of the things that you're going to be teaching your managers and your division directors, which is a great, Maslow's, I've learned, I love seeing all of that. I love seeing training. But, part of traumas, and some people who work in these departments and these divisions, there is, not really personal trauma, but client trauma. I
Yes,
I
thank
hear
you.
this a lot because they gripe that they don't get this assistance or they don't get that assistance. Why not? I'm going to
Yes.
counsel, I'm
Yes.
doing this. So if we can do some type of training or counseling for those employees who actually deal with those traumas.
Yes.
Because it does affect them when they go home.
Yes.
It affects them, whenever they're out in public. Sometimes they don't even go out in public because they get accosted by those clients in public. So it's a concern.
Yes.
And it's been more of a concern and, especially whenever all the funding came back in. So then
Yes.
you have all those client assistance and stuff that comes in. So, in October, it probably got really, really bad. But those employees, that deal with those types of traumas, maybe we can do something for them to
Yes.
look out, for,
Yes.
because goes back to, when does my, I think you mentioned it in one of your things, when does my supervisor need to get involved? And I think that they need the training to also be able
Yes.
to deal and be able to maintain their composure themselves and
Mm-hmm.
be able, and try to help them through the situation and get them through to where they need to be. I just wanted to make that. And the other thing was the codes. I was looking at the code, the listing that you had there in your report, and the SORNA Act, the Sex Offender Registry Act, was not in that list.
Oh, thank you.
So
Okay.
just wanted to make mention that that's probably something we need to put in there as well.
Thank you, yes. And I remember Attorney General Smith mentioned that, so that might be my fault that I left it off, but I'll make sure. Thank you. And real quick, what you said was very important. That was going to be in my last quarter's report, is we just had a discussion with several of our client-facing staff. They are really struggling. There's no funding available for VAWA people and for, what's the other one? I went blank. Yes, ICW. So that's why I want everybody to understand why everybody's making a big deal over this DOJ grant for advocates. It's huge because VAWA and ICW workers are not just overworked and stressed, but they can't be in the public a lot because they are hiding people. And so if people know who they are, they've been harassed, it's been an issue. So this is a huge opportunity that the college is opening. And so we are looking for funds. In fact, our Tewehe funding, I found out they're going to have some funding just for this because it's across the nation. So yes, thank you for that.
President Nettle?
Yes, Councilwoman Campbell.
Thank you. Thank you, Jennifer, for your report. I have a question. Is this 12-month manager program mandatory for managers?
Yes.
Or is it because you want to become a manager?
So
And then if you are a manager and you want to go up to the next level of directorship, then you would take that 12-month directorship. Are they mandatory?
yes, thank you. It's mandatory. So how we're going to do it, whenever we start this, all of our current managers and directors, they will have to take it. But future ones who want to become a manager or a director, they must take it before they even apply for a position. They have to be able to do that. But yes, it's mandatory. All of our managers and directors must take this.
Because, and I say that because, let me just use me as an example, right? I've got multiple years of experience in business. Why would I have to take a 12-month course in learning how to do my job when I've been doing it effectively for all this time? And that's probably what you're going to hear.
Yes.
I'm just being that person to say that. Brian, I mean, I would hope that he wouldn't have to take a mandatory management, 12 months of learning, relearning, or whatever it is. So I struggle with it a little bit. I like it. If that's what you want to do, if you're an accountant and you want to be a director of finance, then you would take those courses to learn. But all of these, I mean, if you have a bachelor's degree in business, you pretty much have had HR and coaching and all of these things are all inept, right, for business majors.
So I see your point, and I absolutely agree with you. I know there's going to be pushback.
Yeah.
However, these are going to be not just from textbooks from college, they're going to be geared towards Pawnee Nation. And plus, I've been in, just like you and everybody else, I've been in different facets of industry.
You're right.
Where I've had, many years as a leader.
Right.
But when I went, I was mandated to take management courses. So to me, it's nothing different than that. It's anywhere you go, there's a certain way of, this is how we do our culture. Our culture is mandatory. This forms the
that.
culture.
I get that piece of it, but to have to go in and how do you talk to your employee? I mean, that's just, pretty basic. If you're a manager, you should already know those things. And if you're a director, you
hopefully.
should have been a manager first and now going up the chain
Yeah.
a little bit.
But-
So I'm not trying
Yeah.
to not promote it.
Yeah.
I'm saying that I see the wealth of that for people that are trying to excel and move forward as an individual, to say, hey, you know what, I really want to be a director, and I want to take, and then if I'm going to do that for Pawnee, then I'm going to take that 12-month course.
Yeah. Well, and I absolutely see your point. But I also feel like we are stewards. If we have leaders who come to work for the government, it's up to us to provide the basic
Absolutely.
education of what we expect as leaders. And I feel like this is something that is a benefit to managers and directors, that we are providing this because we care enough about you to give you this and pour into you. So I'm really hoping it's a gift, and that they take it, and that they understand, wow, this is something I appreciate, because in jobs that I've been in, I really appreciated when people provided that to me and made it mandatory, because I saw, yes, this is important, we need this.
Right.
So I'm really, this isn't a bad thing, and it's not correcting
No.
anyone. It is pouring into people and showing how much we appreciate them. And this is, we're giving you guidance and support. We're lifting you up.
Yeah. So, again, and my perspective would be for an individual trying to escalate their professional development,
Yeah.
rather than just saying, well, you know what, you're a director, and you've been a director for 9 years, but you're going to go back to school and you're going to learn how to be a director. That's all. Thank
Okay,
you very much.
thank you.
I appreciate it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all good. It's just a little thought I had.
Secretary Gardapi.
Oh, yeah, no, I just wanted to comment on that, too. I see your point, Councilwoman Kimball, but I do like the initiative, and I think it could help us get our employees, everybody on the same page. That's the main thing. Everybody gets the same instruction for your position, and I just want to say I like that initiative, and who knows how it'll work out. It's kind of like a pilot program, right? So that's how we are with our rep, too. That's a pilot program, so we say, yeah, we want to see success, but we'll see. We're going to learn something, though.
Yeah.
Treasurer Chapman.
Yes, thank you. I would like to say, that I'm excited about this for our community and for our tribe, but I am going to agree with Councilwoman Kimball is there going to be a ranking, Jennifer, of who takes this, or is it every manager? Because I'll use myself as an example. I have a master's in counseling psychology, and I am a trainer, a trainer. I actually have been a therapist. Someone with like my credentials, would they be mandatorily made to take trauma training when I actually counsel and train in trauma?
Well, and thank you. So this is, and I probably forgot to mention this, every month we have director meetings. So it's where I meet with my directors, and we have a monthly director meeting. The training will happen during that meeting. So it's the same thing as just, so it's not really forcing people to do, like anything outside the norm. It's just that once a month, we have this training all together, and the managers would do the same thing. So it's not negating anyone's academic criteria. It's just we're a team, and we're working together on pouring what we want into our managers and directors. And, there's something that we always have people that have good educations that can always add during that we need that. We're a team. Nobody knows everything, and we grow together and we work together. And so, we always welcome that.
Okay, thank you.
You bet.
So it's not a structured class?
Well, it's a struct,
College, I thought-
oh, no, it's not the college, no. So it'll be done during our director monthly meetings. But it's a monthly, yeah, it's a monthly class that we'll do. Right, I'm sorry, I should have said that from the get-go, but yes. That way, it's not so scary. It's just, we're already meeting. Why aren't we making this a little more, pouring into them?
Or even, you might just take a day out of a quarter. Quarterly
Yeah.
meeting with your staff and, your leadership team and, go through those.
Yeah, it's a great idea, yeah. A change of scenery, yeah,
Thank you very much.
you bet.
Okay, any other questions for Executive Director? If not, we're moving on to item number 10, Pawnee Nation Attorney General Report.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm glad Jennifer talked about our codification project. It's good to deliver the draft for scrubbing, so you can see the project winding up soon. Other things that have been on our plate this quarter, we're getting back on track to environmental initiatives. One is with the EPA, and the other is with the Interior regarding fracking, and sometimes we call it the midnight rider, but the imposition of EPA requirements on Indian territory. We need to go back and visit with the Assistant Secretary of Interior and the EPA. Those meetings are being set up by Liel Equihawk. We have a preliminary hearing tomorrow. Try to bring those to closure. Later in the executive session with the PBC, we'll be talking about a case that we took to mediation this last week. It's called Mildenberg Brawley. It was a dispute when they built a road close to the Green Bridge with highway improvements. That case was filed in 2018. It's regarding a breach that occurred in 2016. Other issues, the Magellan Pipeline is still at the IBIA. One of the projects we're going to visit with Liel Equihawk tomorrow is the force fee patents. And I think we all remember those as the best example is Rush Roberts was forced to give up his restricted or trust status of his land under coercion by the BIA. And the Whelan family has put the allotment back together, and they want the BIA to cancel the forced fee patent. It's with the IBIA. We're going to have a strategy session how to help them to try to get moving along. The IBA has been sitting on the issue for 4 years now. And we're all familiar with the movie now, Killers of the Flower Moon. There were other kinds of thefts during that period of time. This horse fee patent was one of those techniques to take Indian wealth with the cooperation of the Bureau of Indian Affairs. We provided advice on the Reconnect, several versions of that, provided advice to Chris McCrae on construction contracts, and also reviewed construction contracts on the mental health facility, and actually provided some legal advice on solar projects. In the last month, there's been a lot of work done on the mental health facility. I'm completing a 8-page counsel letter, basically assuring the lender that the tribe has the capacity to enter into these contracts. And so I've had to 24 documents ranging from 5 to 50 pages to ensure we are protected in this venture. Provided advice to the executive director on the personnel issues, provided advice on easements to the Nasharo Council. And one of the fun things I got to do in the last month in the name of the Pawnee Nation was do court training with the National Judicial College in Miami, which was co-sponsored by the Pawnee Nation and the Pawnee Nation Court. Greg Smith, Chief Justice, invited Jennifer and I to go to that training. We had a slideshow and interactive participation by the attendees who were judges, court clerks, and law students. And we basically focused on how to avoid conflicts of interest with the court, how to communicate with the court, and how to ascertain your role when you're participating in court procedures. So that's sort of the short version of it. Work seems to come in big volumes, especially with mental health and on occasion the solar project. So I'd be glad to visit with you about any questions you have, and I hope to visit with you later in executive session about Muhlenberg Brawley.
Right. Does any council have any questions about Attorney General's report? All right. Hearing no questions, we'll excuse you till executive session.
Thank you.
At this time, we're moving on to item number 11, approval of 2023 Pawnee Nation third quarterly report divisions. Are there any reports under the divisions that council has questions on? Councilwoman Butler.
I just have a few things that I noticed on the IT report. There was an incomplete report. There was no executive summary or anything. It just started at item number 4, travel and training. So I didn't know if the rest of that report needed to be added. Enrollment, IT. No, under
Division.
divisions. Under division reports, yeah. Under enrollment, it said that, I know that they're not under executive affairs anymore, but didn't know if it needed to be corrected because under financial reporting, it said that executive affairs has the financial info. So I didn't know if that might need to be changed because they are their own division, so they would have their own financial information. I always love the language report. I see the stuff all over Facebook and everything for their classes and everything. I haven't been able to participate, but he always has a really good report, so I just wanted to make mention of that, which everybody had a good report. It's just, I like to see because it's our language. I like to see that because we haven't had that in a long time. Education, I just had a question. A while back, there was some people from Cleveland that was asking about childcare, and that to see if maybe our education division would think about maybe getting a facility over, a child care facility over in the city of Cleveland, because they didn't have any child care facilities at one point, and I don't know if that's changed or not. I'm not from Cleveland, but people that I meet and stuff like that are. So, and they were, we do have Pawnee children there, but they were asking if they could, travel all the way over here for their kids. They were looking for childcare. So maybe that's something that you could suggest to the education, expansion. I know they're a 5-star facility now, which is great.
Hold on
I
with
love that.
Cynthia. There is no childcare facility in Cleveland, period.
Yeah.
that's what she
So
No,
maybe.
they don't even have after-school care.
So,
No.
it's in our jurisdiction.
What a great opportunity for a business.
Yes, so it's something to look at, to think about, maybe
And
talk with the
there are
division
empty
director.
buildings on Main Street as well.
Yeah. And then the last one was the finance report. I just had questions on what they reported from the TDC numbers, because TDC reported in their report, because I always read those first, but they reported $300,000 for assessments and then $29,999.97 for rent. And then whenever finance reported, they said that we got a total amount of $321,991. So I don't see where all those numbers match up, because Taro also reported that they got $44,000 for fees or something. I think maybe the wages, and then I wasn't for sure how much gaming got. So I don't know if that's an accurate number for the quarter, but that's in the finance division report, and just wanted to make sure that we get the correct number if we have it. Because I know they get other fees. I know Liquor Control Commission also contributes to that. They get fees through their commission as well. So just to make sure that we're reporting accurately. And I didn't look at the budgets to kind of justify all of that on some of them, but on that one, it just popped out at me because it said TDC. So just wanted to see about getting that fixed if it needs to be
Great, I'll get
fixed.
those updated and sent back out to the PBC.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Secretary Gardapi, did you have something? No. Anybody else have any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2023 Pawnee Nation Third Quarterly Report for the divisions.
With changes?
Oh, with corrections,
I'll make that motion.
with, okay, got a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilwoman Hare. No further discussion. We'll call for the vote.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare? Gene Evans?
Yes.
Sammy Kimball?
Okay, item number 12, approval of 2023 Pawnee Nation Third Quarterly Report, committees, commissions, and boards. Councilwoman Butler.
I did have a question on just a couple. I do want to say that I did enjoy the Taro Commission report, a lot of the things that they're doing. I would just want, the people to know what they're doing, and they had really good information on there. So thank you to the Taro Commission for doing a really good report. On the Gaming Commission, mentioned that they didn't have no financials to report due to no information available. And so I just kind of wondered if that's a finance thing. Are they not getting you your financials? Are they, I don't know, because if you're going to mention it, then, it's like, well, then who needs to get that information
Right.
to you guys? So if we could just, I don't know if that lays in Jen's court for the finance department to get the Gaming Commission their financials so they can report on it, but it just seemed like it was a concern for them to make a report on it. So wanted to mention that. And then the Tax Commission. They did mention that they were doing, I just wanted to know on this first part, they mentioned that people were utilizing the new software that they have, the online renewal. Just kind of wondered how many people are using it and how many people are actually coming in person. Seeing if it's actually being utilized, are they getting still the same amount of people? Are people scared to use it? Is I know they're troubleshooting, they said, for some people, but, I just wanted to kind of know how that was going, because I know everybody, we want to push them to use that renewal software online. I did notice that they were taking care of some deceased members' tags, and I'm glad that they're taking care of that situation and getting them reported and everything. So that was good to see. On their new objectives, if we could just, they mentioned that they were doing some things for planning for future taxes, and I was, just thinking to myself, and I think some other people have mentioned this to me, but Tax Commission taxes vendors, and that's vendors that are, in our jurisdiction. So right now, all we're doing is really taxing ourselves. So one of the questions was, can somebody just look into this? I'm not for sure if they, I would like the commission to look into this, or the staff, or whoever can do this. The medication vendors that come to IHS, can we tax it? Is that a possibility? Is it because it's federal? But they are vendors who come in here. It's just like, why can't we? Why can't we? So that's an initiative for the tax commission to kind of look at bringing revenue in. And that was my question. I'd like to know a little bit more.
It's a, well, that's what we'd have to look into. It's a federal facility, but it's on tribal jurisdiction. So that's something that would, we would
It'd
have
be
to
interesting.
research.
It'd be interesting to see and to kind of just get some information to see what can happen, see what we could do, and then possibly pursue that with the tax commission. Just wanting to throw that out there. Also, another thing that was brought to my attention is about the sales tax. So that, you know, they have all their little knickknacks, their merchandise, their gift shop and stuff. And are they putting sales tax on their sales? Because, you know, we have, I think it's what, 8.5? The tax
Yes.
commission, are they taxing their own sales whenever they sell their products, or are they just tax exempt? Because we do have a sales tax for the reserve. So that's, might be a little bit of a missed tax opportunity for them to bring in for revenue. So if we can find out if they're doing that. And then it was good to see that they're, you know, both of you reported, Madam President and the Executive Director reported on the Oklahoma, is it tax agency or whatever, the OTA?
Oklahoma Turnpike Authority.
Turnpike Authority, that's what it is. That I'm glad to see that they're, you know, trying to address an agreement with the tribe, but, you know, it kind of makes you sound kind of fishy that they want, you know, tribal information. But, you know, but to encourage our tribal members to go to, you know, the Pike Pass and, you know, pay for those fees and stuff
Plate
like
pay.
that. So, Pike Pay, yeah.
Plate pay.
Plate pay and Pike Pass, so. It was good to see that information put in there, and kind of interesting to see what's going to come forward with that, you know, moving forward. But that's all I have for the commissions.
All right. Thank you for that. Any other comments, questions? Committees, commissions, and boards? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2023 Pawnee Nation Third Quarterly Report for the committees, commissions, and boards.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion by Councilwoman Butler. Is there a second?
I will second.
Seconded by Councilwoman Hare. No further discussion. We'll call for the vote.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay, item number 13, approval of 2023 Pawnee Nation Third Quarterly Report, financial.
Yes. This is Treasurer Chapman. James has the actual documents for any questions that the council will have. He's got his computer up there.
Councilwoman Butler.
I just have a few questions on this one. I think one of the questions on there was the opioid settlement, but I think I wrote on here that the executive director did answer that question, the gaming budgets and making sure that we get their financials. But I did have a question on Taro, and it's about pulling back maybe a little bit on their spending until we get the end of the year spending. It looks to see that they'll have a deficit.
Until what?
A deficit on Taro, looking at their budget because of the numbers that I was
seeing,
looking at. Yeah, and then who covers that? Do we as a tribe, does revenue replacement, do we need to kind of pull back? Because they bring in revenue, and they bring in the assessment fees, they bring in the wage fees and everything, but in the third quarter, they only brought in, I think, off the top of my head, $36,000. So I just kind of expected, well, maybe in the fourth quarter, they'll bring in $36,000, but that doesn't meet the amount that they were approved in their budget, so they're still spending. So it's like, where do we start, where does finance start assessing the spending for the fourth quarter? And not just them, I think the utility commission as well. And one of the things I had on the utility commission that I was just questioning is, they brought in $156 per quarter so far. And I know we only have about, 3 homes, but where is that being reported, the revenue from the water bills? Because we do get it from the tribe, of course. I didn't know if that went into property for their reporting, but we also get water bills from the BIA and from IHS. So where does that get reported? I don't know if that's probably a finance question on how they're reporting the water sales, because they should be getting water bills from Pawnee Nation because they're on our water system, right?
Right.
Can you hold on that? James, can you let us know where that's being coded to?
Yes, I can. It's, the ones I only see, and I couldn't even tell you when this started, but I've never seen where the tribe paid for water. I do see where TDC pays for water and Indian House Service pays water, and non-governmental residents like the Pawnee Indian Baptist Church, and there's the 3 houses that are on, where's that, Morse Road?
Yeah.
Those 3. Then the lady that lives on Clicks Road, I think it's Clicks Road, or is it, no, not Clicks Road.
Catlett.
Catholic.
Catlick Road, yeah, those are only 4 that we receive residential.
So where does the,
So,
I
yeah,
guess,
where is it coded in the, under what budget or what?
Oh, utilities.
It is coded on the utilities
Yes.
financial report?
Yes.
so they only brought in $153 or $56 for the quarter?
It's I can't tell you why people don't pay their deals, or if there's even a policy to shut the water off so they can pay bills, but
Oh,
That's-
that's concerning because that's revenue.
yes.
Yeah, do
And
we
we
bill
owe it-
IHS? We should.
They should bill IHS, but they should
Yeah.
bill the BIA, they bill TDC. This was the thing that
Yeah.
kind of came out, and when I was looking at all of this, we're all, we tax ourselves, we charge ourselves, but the other entities on our reserve, we're not doing anything to them,
Collecting or-
collecting from them.
Enforcing, sounds like.
Yeah, it just, and if the utility commission needs to look at that, when they need to look at where, how much their billing is going out, $156, it should be a little bit more. I know that the church pays theirs, because whenever I used to work for the nation, I saw theirs come in regularly. But, you
Yes,
know, you
they
have
do.
these other houses, but you have IHS, and I know, I see where, the Pawnee Nation, you know, where we wouldn't just pay ourselves, I figured it's just a cost that we incur, but how do we just keep track of that on how much money's coming in, you know? Are we gonna charge behavioral health whenever we get that up and running,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
If
we
the
are.
college builds, are we
course,
gonna
Brian,
charge the
of
college?
course.
So that's why I was like, no.
You know, it's just a question. It's just something that I looked at because we are trying to bring in other revenues to do
Revenue,
other
yes.
things with the nation and to keep these programs and stuff open. It just becomes a concern for myself that I'm just like, what are we doing? How are we doing it? What's going to happen? So just something to think about, but I would like to see where that is all going. If they're not, then I would encourage the utility commission to create some, you know, revise their laws to do shut-offs.
Okay.
And to enforce
Yes.
that, because that's what they're
Yes.
supposed to do. They're the utility
Collections, yes.
department.
Okay, I'll get that and get it sent to the PBC as
Or
well.
is it being miscoded?
Exactly.
Or is it miscoded?
That's another thing. Is it being miscoded? I would just
Okay.
like to see it come into the budgets that they're supposed to come into.
And that's
Shut-offs and reconnection fees.
Yeah, that's, when Jim and I first started it, I know the policy had it. But we only had I think one commercial, which was the Indian Health Service, and we had several our residences. And, but I don't think we had the shut off deal. It was kind of like it was new. It was trying to get people to, I don't know if you realize this, but there used to be a line that the city had down through there that was giving them. And so when we put our new system in '96, we removed that city line, because right there across the street from the Pawnee Indian Baptist Church is actually, I think it's county jurisdiction, and they had it up to the I call it a shack, and he has his trailer parked in the back. That right there is county. The next one over is the city jurisdiction. So years ago, it was just a lot of things that had to get resolved before we were able to get some of the, because they said, oh, and they kept paying the city at the time, which was nuts. But anyways, just a little history.
Okay. other questions for the financials?
One other thing, and I know I
Yes.
mentioned this to Misty. We have two commissions that aren't active, but we still appropriate money towards them. I know that, we hope that they would get active, but we really should look at them, because if they're not, so we're talking about Environmental Regulatory Commission. They're given $1,200 a year, and they've not spent anything. Probably haven't had any meetings. I'm going to assume that's just stipends. And then the Sports Commission. They're given 500 or 700, so they're given about $1,200 as well, but yet they've had no meetings, there's no movement
No
on
activity
Sports
at all.
Commission. And I know that they have to wait for opportunities and things to happen, but, if we're not going to get that from TDC for a couple of years, then what are we doing with these commissions? I wouldn't want to see it dissolved, but I would like to, do we just bring down the funding? What do we do? Do we remove them? Do we try to get people on there to get active and to try to do something? Or, I just wanted to make mention of that there's two of them out there that just aren't doing anything.
Cynthia, you've really been busy
Yes,
thinking about all
yes,
of this.
that's
I'm
what I
really
was gonna say.
glad.
Keep that thinking hat
That's
on.
critical thinking right there. It's interesting, I've been thinking about that sports commission myself, because I remember, way back when I was here in the late 70s, they had basketball tournaments, and it was busy, and everybody was at the BIA gym, and it was fun, boxing, just having, all kinds of tribes here doing baseball and stuff, and we've not seen any of that. It would really be nice to redo that. Just a thought. And now TDC's talking about building the park, we're gonna have a 20-acre park. It'd be great to be able to partner with them and do something, collaborate.
I just would like to make a suggestion that you can still keep the budgets within, like, the umbrella of the nation and just have them as unfunded until there is, activity and find a need to, they would still have their program numbers, but, because due to no activity, then yes, they wouldn't necessarily go away, but just be unfunded and inactive. That also brought up another, let's see, we start talking about parks and recs. Two commissions, ERC Sports Commission, I don't know, I already lost it. We had discussed about having these budgets. We have these budgets, and we allocate funds to them, and they're for specific areas or for specific line items. And so we were even kind of noting about whether to denote those specific line items that are geared for a specific activity, or like we're talking about stipends and everything, where they're allocated as discretionary or non-discretionary. That way, if you have a division, a program that doesn't utilize their money for that purpose, they, in a sense, re-obligate it and say, hey, well, I still have, out of $50,000, you only spent $10,000. So at the end of the year, there's $40,000 that I haven't spent. Let's just start buying everything. But it's not, for those specific line items that it was geared towards. And when they do that, they're supposed to be doing budget modifications, and it's supposed to be monitored. And we're not seeing that with a lot of these budgets. We need expense reports to go out, in the fiscal policies. I don't remember if it's the 10th or the 15th that they're due out to the programs. And, that helps with a lot of these managers, coordinators, supervisors, whatever you want to call them, in order to forecast, their expenditures for these budgets. So those need to be sent out so they can, monitor their budgets, and we don't have overspending. Or, like we said, year-end spending, where they're trying to just, shovel out purchase orders to try to get these things, because that also is a lot on finance in order to do that, get these purchase orders in there. Yes, procurement. We've mentioned, I don't know, more than a handful of times about having a deadline, a cutoff for making your year-end purchases. And the thing of it is we, as a nation, since we operate on calendar year for travel programs, it's December 31st is the end of our fiscal year. However, with federal, their end of the fiscal year is September, 30th. So there would have to be monitoring on both of those, actually. But it's not something that's not doable. It's just hasn't been, again, enforced. So in order to do that, we're sitting here, we're looking at our revenues, we're trying to find what our bottom dollar is, what we have available to fund certain initiatives that come to us, donation requests. We have to get a handle on our financials and find out what we actually have, in the bank. We're sitting here and we're wanting to report out, on our CARES and ARPA funding that, the nation has received. And we're sitting here talking about trying to be transparent. However, again, we got to have those numbers so they can be reported. And that's something that, is going to be, I guess, a priority, within this next month, because this needs to happen in December. I mean, there's no reason why this has been delayed, delayed. And we were waiting on, the audit to be completed. The audit has been completed. Let's find out, where our numbers are and go from there. Even if we can get close, we still have to be able to get that exact dollar come December 31st. I mean, we have to. We don't have any kind of wiggle room anymore. We're getting ready to take on these big projects, and we have to be able to know where our money is down to the penny on everything. So, anybody else have any questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval of the 2023 Pawnee Nation Third Quarterly Report financials.
I'll make the motion.
Got a motion by Councilwoman Butler. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Treasurer Chapman. Hearing no further discussion, we'll call for the vote.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Uh-huh.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Sammy Kimball?
Yes, because we have a lot of questions
Is-
and a lot of gaps.
Is that an asterisk? Just kidding.
Okay, at this time, we're moving on to item number 14, old business discussion and/or action on City of Pawnee easement. And this information, I believe if you got a packet, it's in your packet as well. We're revisiting this issue, and we just need to make a decision so we can get back to the city. This has been since August of this year.
Who's gonna take the charge on this?
Well, originally, Mayor Cottle was gonna present, actually, so I asked her to, but she had a city emergency, I don't know, something about sewer flooding or something, so I understand, but, I mean, we all know what this is. I mean, this has come to our table before, and it was our decision to say, as a council, as our PBC, that we agree that we want to approve it. So I don't know what else we need to discuss, other than this location is over, it's expansion of the highway that ODOT has been working on for several months, but it is at a standstill, waiting for this easement request approval or non-approval. But it's over there by the War Mothers Bridge right there, the highway 64, that expansion. And it is in the paperwork, it says that they're gonna move a sewer line 10 feet. So that's the crux of it. We did send it back for that fair market, and I think it was like $500 or something from $1. So, I mean, all that has been done. I did get with Chief Leading Fox and let him know that what the council wanted to do with this, and he was okay with that. And just kind of said, if we have anything else, we don't really need to take it to the Nassau Council. So I said, no problem.
You know what, in light of all that, if You're going to entertain a motion? I'm sorry, President.
Oh, yeah.
Overtalk you.
Well, it's that, and, you know, it was denied initially by the National Council, but then doing our research, you know, we found out that it was because they were waiting on additional information. But, you know, hearing from Chief Leading Fox that they no longer have a concern, then I'll entertain a motion from council to either approve or deny.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Put a motion on the floor to approve.
I'll second that, and I just wanted to state that I'm really happy that we didn't settle for $1. You know, that was just a slap. So as long as they're paying market value, you know, we want to be good citizens too, you know, and just make it happen. I regret the delay, but we had to have that.
Yeah.
So I'm good, thank you.
Okay, I got a motion, a second. Any further discussion? If not, let's call for the vote.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman?
Carol.
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare? Gene Evans?
Yes.
Sammy Kimball?
Yes.
Okay, item number 15, new business. Item number 1, approval of resolution 2357, National Congress of American Indians, delegates revision. This has been sent out as well. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and present on this. This is a resolution that is necessary. Councilwoman Hare will be attending NCAI, and in order to vote, she needs a delegate resolution passed by the nation in order to state that she has the authority to vote on behalf of the nation in their election. Is there any comments on the resolution, any additions, corrections? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I just have a question.
Yes.
Because in the past, they always required the number of enrolled tribal members so that they could determine how many votes that the nation got. And they always wanted us to put that in resolution. Just wanted to see if it changed, if we still need to do that. Because when she does attend and they have something voting, then she needs to know how many votes that she gets. So.
Can we look at the last resolution?
Yeah, if we
maybe?
could look at the last resolution to see how that was worded and put in there, and I'm in agreement with it, with just adding that correction to it so that the votes are determined. And then I'll make a motion to approve with the corrections.
With changes if necessary, I guess.
Yeah, changes if necessary.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, I got a motion on the floor by Councilwoman Butler to approve Resolution 2357 with changes if necessary, and seconded by Councilman Evans. No further discussion, we'll call for the vote.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman?
Gosh, that microphone. Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare? Gene Evans?
Yes.
Sammy Kimball?
Yes.
Okay, item number 2, approval of Resolution 2358, Pawnee Nation Mental Health LLC banking authorization.
Hello, Council. We're at pretty much exciting moment for the nation right now. So what we've been doing the last couple of weeks, last months, is really getting closer to the closing of the financials. So last week, we had a couple of meetings. The board had a meeting to kind of go over this resolution and get their approval on it. But at the same time, we had another meeting to kind of go over in depth of all the financial documents. There's about roughly about 20-something documents that are integrated in this financial structure. So we've been working with A.G. Smith. We have another attorney that's been working on our behalf, as well as working with the other entities that are involved in making sure that they have the right verbiage that's required on their end. So basically, it's just giving authorization for the president, once we get all the documents at its final state, just authorizing her to start approving all the financials and moving forward towards the closing. So last week, we kind of went over it with the board. I know it was optional for PPC on last Thursday to attend, but that was just a really in-depth kind of process to kind of go over all these. So this is needed. We're looking at, if everything goes well, the biggest thing that we got pending right now is just working with the state of Oklahoma through the title company and getting that taken care of. But if everything goes well, our still projected date to close is November 14th, which is next week. And this is just one of the requirements that's needed to that capital, or not capital, but financial document stack that we've been accumulated. So this is just resolution in a nutshell. So if you have any questions, let me know. I know I need to fix a few things in here, which is the first or second whereas. I need to change the date to November 7th, kind of shift that over. So, oh, she did it already? Cool beans. On my end, it's not like that. But anywho, so that's good that that's been created. But actually, just look for a motion to kind of go in the direction of getting those documents in this final state and authorizing the president to sign off on them. If you have any questions, let me know.
Sir, any questions for,
I have one.
yes, Councilwoman
I,
Campbell?
I'm just trying to, and I didn't read it, maybe I just missed it, because I'm trying to speed read. But it does have our president, Misty Nuttall, as the designated officer.
Mm-hmm.
If Misty just decided that she wanted to go back to DC and work, and go back to work, would that automatically just transfer over to her Vice President Canuho? I don't see that stated in here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it needs to be. Doesn't it need to be? Because it's designating Misty Nuttall as president rather than just saying president, the president. I want to be clear with that.
Is this language from the bank? Because on a lot of other documents, it has all three entered. Myself, Vice President, and Carol.
And I don't mind it just being one, but I want to make sure that there's some delegation going on behind it, you
Right.
know?
I mean, we can add vice president. I know in the board one, it does have the vice president on there as well as.
And the board members are our executive officers, right? So we've got president, vice president, and then treasurer, right? Those three?
Well, on the LLC one, it's just right now the president and vice president.
Well, why isn't the LLC, so our treasurer's not involved in that?
I mean, she's involved, but she's just on the financial documents, the bank documents, it just has her on there to sign as the authorized authority person. So she's involved in it, it's just being that one person that signs on it.
She's the treasurer.
Yeah. So she's involved in, I know on the banking aspect of it, she's associated with those accounts and stuff like that. So yes, she is associated, but just being the representative, like the president, which is, that's who signs.
Okay,
And I'll
I
to
get
add
that.
something to that too. I don't know why that's like that, because our banks here do the same thing. They request my signature, and that was what I had asked them, was why does the treasurer not sign on behalf of the nation?
Right,
Because that's been asked of Armstrong and First Bank and Trust.
right.
And I don't know why that's like that.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, but I just, in this situation, And we just kind of went off a little bit offline with that. But in this situation, I think it would behoove us to include some type of a delegation. Okay? So if Missy's not feeling well and Missy's in DC and she can't sign, we need to be able to move and get business done. So that would be my recommendation.
You know, that has been like that from the beginning. I just thought it had to be like that.
Yeah, I don't know what, I don't,
I mean, I can add an extra delegate on behalf.
well, that's what I'm saying, though. If it is not something that is, totally prohibited by the bank, that's why I said, I don't know why all three are not on there.
Right. And all
As
three should be.
designated officers. I mean, yeah,
Right.
they should be,
They should be. All three should be on that.
to be able to sign, should anybody
Designated
not be
officers.
available.
Right, designated officers. Misty Nuttall as president, comma, Jordan Canuho, vice president, comma, Carol Chapman Young, treasurer, and then the designated officers. I think it just helps us and it just saves us in case somebody is not available. I don't know how you all agree. Would
Let me
you
sort
with
of
that?
jump in. This is Chad, let me jump in. The designation for the signer in this one is just for this batch of documents. Signing the notes, the mortgages and those things, and those occur at a closing. The documents I think you're talking about is the operating documents of the LLC. Those have three officers, the president, vice president, and the treasurer. And for the operating documents, the LLC is designated, I think, at least two of those three as authorized signers on bank transactions and future operational transactions. So if you want to add those folks in here, this you can, but it'll just mean that they'll have to add 2 more lines to all
Yeah,
the
so
24 documents.
I'm sorry, Mr. Smith, so this is just for the closing documents? That's
Exactly.
what you're saying, for this
Yes.
resolution? And
Yes.
all other documents pertaining to financing and everything else has those 3 officers listed, am I right?
You're right, yes.
Well, then you solved it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Then
fine.
he solved it. If these are just closing
okay, either way.
documents, I'm good with it.
Okay.
Thank you. With
Either
the
way.
changes, yeah.
I'm good either way.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem with them all being in there. I mean, it just,
I just wanted I just wanted all of us to be protected, just not having just one sole person that if you weren't available, Jordan could.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
okay, any other comments, questions, revisions? We have all the correct dates. I didn't see the top.
Yeah, what's the date? on
Okay,
that?
if so, I'll entertain a motion to approve with changes.
I'll make the motion to approve with changes.
Got a motion to approve with changes. Is there a second?
I'll second. With changes?
Okay. Motion made by Councilwoman Butler, seconded by Councilwoman Kimball. Let's call for the vote.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes,
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Uh-huh.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes. Congratulations.
Item number 15, new business number 3, discussion and/or action on resolution 2359, ARPA allocation 2023 Elders Food Sovereignty Assistance.
Who's delivering?
Is someone?
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay, yes. This is on the resolution that PBC tabled, the ARPA resolution for the holiday award, food sovereignty award for our elders. And it was 49,750, and what we're going to have to amend it because we were going to give out gift cards, and they were not available. We could not do that with the gift cards, and this came up. So what we're going to have to do is just go ahead and write a check. So that comes out, writing checks comes out to making some different arrangements, choices, and I was working with James Rice, our finance person, and we would like to, or I will recommend that we up that amount by $19,500 to come out with $69,250. And this will be out of ARPA, and there are enough ARPA funds in there for this. That's what I would like to recommend rather than the other options that were made available. So basically amending it from 49,750 up to 69,250 out of ARPA so that our elders can receive their holiday award, which is combined this year. Any questions?
Do we have questions? Yes, Councilwoman Hare.
When you say combined, you mean with Christmas?
Yes.
Okay.
It's too late to get it was too late to get anything out for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Any other questions? If not, I'll make a
Carol-
motion.
Carol?
Yes, go ahead.
This is Sammy Kimball. What happened to the cards? Are they just voided and we got the money back?
No. James, will you explain in detail what happened to the cards?
Yeah. The cards are prepaid Visa cards, so the bank cannot like make a check back and send, the balance because they're prepaid.
Yeah.
So we checked into getting cards, and it's too late. It was, we had to have our specific date to let them know because of the holidays
Right.
requires, them ample time. I mean, last year we were able, well, not last year, I should say, during the storm deal, we were able to get them done, but that wasn't during the holidays. It was, in June. So, so actually those cards will still have $250 on them. And they're going to be 199 cards, which equals $49,750. And that's what was
It's how much?
$49,750 is the amount of that's on there.
199 cards times 250.
Yes.
Right. And then, so that would mean that it would cost us another $88,000 to satisfy the other 500 and, well, whatever the difference is between 199 and 554.
If we did it for that amount, that's 250.
Well,
What we have here is 50 up to 125.
Okay. I was just trying to do the math to figure out where we're at. So the $250 cards are just sitting there somewhere, hopefully behind a lock and key.
Yes.
Oh, they're in the, they're in our safe. Yeah, our
Well,
safe
good
is.
deal.
Yeah.
And so those aren't allocated right now, and so we would be sending a check to all elders for 125 for the season and just be done with it.
If
Okay.
that's the
If that's
wish
what
of
we
the
choose to
council.
do.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, James. I was just trying to do the math and get
Okay.
my head around that one.
Okay.
I would like to say too, on that cards, the reallocation of those cards will need to be decided by the council
Yes.
because it's so later on, I don't know what we can, well, I'm sure there's plenty to do, but that 49,750 will have to be a decision of the council on the remaining cards that we have. Just wanted to clarify that.
Yes. Okay, I have a question, because in the resolution, it states the date of November 4th for eligibility, and then now with this, these options being presented, it says as of December 1st. What, is there a,
The actual count for, there's 552 as of that November 4th, and the other one is December 1st, because it's gonna be Thanksgiving and Christmas combined. So we use the number, the 554 for December 1st. I'm not, oh, I see the resolution now. Okay. I wasn't part of that resolution part.
okay, well, I
But
just didn't know
that's
if
the
there
numbers.
was, I just didn't know if there was a significant difference or, who had reached the decision for the December 1st, because I thought that had already been determined.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Yeah, it was a 554. Yeah, it was, that's the actual date used. That many, and not that many elders, December 1st, there's 554.
What about those who turn 65 in December? It's for Christmas. Or short.
Either way, somebody's going to get left out.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true. And that's common though, even with annuity. With the ones that do get it, I get calls from them afterwards.
Okay.
Actually, had one elder wanted to turn it back. Said
Okay.
she didn't need it, but okay.
Secretary Gardefee.
So I don't mean to be unpopular, but we are the Pawnee Business Council. And while I like donating to different entities, and our elders are important, I get that. We were allocated 23 million for ARPA. And based on what we have unallocated, it's around 700 something thousand. I mean, so we are getting down,
It's 4 million.
well, I saw that in the financials, but in the report, I said it was unallocated was 700 something thousand. So looking at the ICDBG grant, has that been allocated? Hopefully that was taken out already, because I don't know what our portion was on that, I can't remember. But I
Carol,
mean, I'm just looking in the
can you hear this,
future.
Carol? Can you respond
Yes.
to all this?
But looking
No,
into the,
not right now. I don't-
Okay,
looking
hold
into
on,
the-
let him finish
Yeah.
first.
future, I'm just saying that I think we should be concentrating on, what was that was said by TDC? Revenue generating assets is what they're trying to put their money into.
They should be.
Yeah, and I think we should be looking at that as well. I mean, I know this is something that the tribe likes to do, and I agree. But I mean, I'm just saying that financially speaking, I don't know where we are really. It's a concern, I mean, because I don't see the government sending us any more money out of the blue, like for the pandemic. I mean, that's done. So, I mean, I just want to put that out there that we need to be really frugal on this last remaining portion, because we may have to pay for something that we don't even, it's not even on our plate right now. So,
We did discuss that, George. We did discuss that, and I mean, we're not giving as much this time as we have in the past, so we have cut it down considerably.
No, I know that, Treasurer Chapman. I'm just saying, I mean, just a concern that, looking ahead, I mean, and I'm willing to go with the majority on this for sure, but, I mean, I just think we should really be frugal, in the coming months, because we don't know what's gonna happen.
Well, and I agree. I'm very troubled with 50 grand just sitting there for nothing. The spent money. Where's that gonna go? All of a sudden, we're gonna be generous and hand out $250 cards to people? I mean,
Well, that's what we got to look into. 'Cause,
That's
yeah,
right.
It's not going to be any less, not going to be any more. It's set
right.
at
We're
$250.
and it just bothers me that we've got $50,000 sitting in a locked cabinet, and, I mean, how do we use it? Do we just pay our utility bill with it?
If we have to.
Yeah.
Just kidding. We have to do that.
That's right.
But thank you, I just wanted to say.
Councilwoman Butler.
I just wonder, what other programs do you see in the future for, those who aren't elders? We leave out our middle class, we leave out our struggling parents who have kids all the time, and they need to put food on the table too. So what type of program, how are they gonna benefit as well? And I'm, nothing against our elders, I love being able to do that. Our elders, we respect our elders, but it's just, we're leaving out the rest of the membership.
I think it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
It's very cultural. I just was talking to my niece, and to go along with your thing, I was just talking to my niece this last weekend, and I'm like, dang, babe, I don't even know how you're doing it, because for me to go to McDonald's for two, it's like $30. She says, Auntie, every time we take the boys somewhere, we know we're going to spend $100. That's just a given. We're going to spend $100. Whatever we're doing. So I can follow along with that. However, in retrospect and thinking about an elder, I have talked to several elders that their Social Security is less than $700 a month. I mean, I know that we should not be in the entitlement game, but I certainly don't believe that servicing our elders is an entitlement. I think that's something that we do out of the goodness, as we do children, students. I mean, we're all trying to do the right thing, but I don't want to dismiss them. Oh, well, we realize they're old, but the whole deal is that they are on set fixed incomes, and some of them probably even worse off than we even know, which is the sad part. So I'll go along with the majority.
Shall I withdraw my motion?
No?
Any other?
What is your
Well,
motion?
no, we haven't made a motion yet. Or we
Oh, I
haven't heard
thought
a
I
motion.
did.
We
Okay,
were
well-
still looking at the recommendations.
Okay,
So
yeah.
if you want to make a motion, you're more than welcome to.
Yes, I will go ahead and make the motion to amend the ARPA allocation by 19,500
For a total amount
of, wait now, lost my page here. Let's see. Oh, darn it.
are you wanting 125? The 125 amount?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
so
yeah. I had,
in
it's,
the amount of $69,250.
yes, yes.
That's a recommendation of our treasurer.
Okay, got a motion on the floor by Treasurer Chapman to amend the resolution to give out $125 to 554 elders totaling $69,250. And this will be funded out of the ARPA funds for the 2023 Elders Food Sovereignty Assistance. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilwoman Kimball. Any further discussion?
Are we gonna move the date, or leave the date as November 6th? Are we gonna leave the date, or are we gonna move it to December 1st for the?
Are we guaranteeing that these will not go out before December 1st? I thought we were going to try to get this out before Thanksgiving.
That would be helpful.
James, is it possible? I thought you said it was.
It's possible. It's possible.
Okay, so because we're discussing the date of eligibility, we have November the 7th on here, but then in the count, it states December the 1st for the 554 elders.
Yeah. And that was based on, because it was supposed to be both for Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's the number that was used.
But you can't say that.
What's your thoughts? Because again, that goes back to what you're saying. I mean, if
'Cause
we're
of-
going to do it for Christmas, then, you know, it's December the 25th, you would think would be the
Right.
deadline, I
True.
mean, the eligibility.
You're right, yeah.
And then how many does that bring it up?
Right, and then how much will that bring that amount up? Or if we're using November the 7th, how much is that going to decrease it by?
Ooh, that should be, I know November 1st was 552.
Okay, can we stick with that date? Because I know that was discussed
Sure,
in
that-
Budget Committee.
Yes, I mean, that's up, however the council wants to do.
Yeah, that's fine.
Those are just the numbers I was given by enrollment.
Okay. If we could get the date changed to November the 1st. And then Carol, would you want to amend your motion to include that with the change?
Yes, please.
Okay, and Councilwoman Kimball, do you agree?
I agree.
Okay. Anything else? It's gonna be it's gonna be
69.
250 less, yeah.
Yes, 69,000 even.
Okay. Any further corrections? If not, let's see. 27, okay. If not, we'll call for the vote.
Sorry. George Gardner, yes.
Right.
Cal Chapman,
I know. I know, it's a lot of money.
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare, Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Next item we have is item number 4, President Committee appointments. And what I want to do on the appointments is we have these committees listed here. And we're starting initially with these because these committees have been active, and what we're trying to do is eliminate, again, just like with the commissions, committees that are inactive or, you know, have no longer an assigned task to them. We're trying to use committees as ad hoc committees and just use them for special interests or research. So at this time, we have the Property Committee, which will be chaired by Donna Hare, Cemetery Committee chaired by Sammy Kimball, Budget Committee chaired by Carol Chapman, Tuttaha Committee chaired by Sammy Kimball, Intergovernmental Affairs Committee chaired by Donna Hare, Governing Documents Committee chaired by Cynthia Butler, Planning Committee chaired by Misty Nuttall, Agriculture Committee chaired by George Gardefee, Princess Committee chaired by Cynthia Butler. And what I'm asking is to get your committee rosters in by November the 15th and with contact information for those individuals, and they will be sent a letter appointing them to the committee. And it will be up to the committee chairs to appoint their own members and then remove their inactive members. That should be within the realm of the committee. And so when we have anything that needs to go to those committees, they'll be communicated to the chair, and then they'll proceed from there. Also, if when identifying your committee members, if you could identify your staff support, then we can get that documented and then get with that staff to see if they accept that position. Okay. At this time, we're moving on to open forum. Does anybody have anything for open forum? Item number 16. Yes.
Oh, I just had a comment. So we buried Janice Horse Chief, she's my relative, Saturday. And that was the first time that, that they had the Pawnee Nation set up out there at the cemetery, and the chairs and I just wanted to say it was amazing.
Was it beautiful?
It was beautiful, and it was better than what I thought it would be. You know, looking at those pictures, it was better. So I just wanted to commend the cemetery committee, and it was just, it was a great surprise for me to see that out there, and I just wanted to say.
Well, thank you very much. I know that I appreciate that. The cemetery committee has really done a lot of work. Pius and himself has done a lot of work. I have to give it to Jimmy Justice and his team. They trained with Poteets, they bought more stuff. It was funny because once Jimmy and his crew got out there, they were like, well, why can't we have the covered chairs, and why can't we have this,
Slip
you know? And
covers,
so
uh-huh.
we actually was able to buy more funerary stuff than we had originally. And we'll be bringing that to the, I was supposed to have a committee meeting tonight, but we've postponed it to next Thursday. And we're going to come back to council and see how we can help our gentlemen that work out there so diligently for our people.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, I
with a
noticed
little
that there was-
stipend, you know, we want something
Yeah.
good for them. Thank you. I'm real proud of that. And we've certainly had a lot of people, a lot of tears this last week. And again, you know, today, lost my little auntie, you know, Lucy Kent. And I loved her. She looked just like my Aunt Lois Knife Chief to me. She reminded me so much of her that I really gravitated to her. And that was just real hurtful. And I know that a lot of us are mourning right now for lots of people, and to have the nation support them like that, to make them feel really good that you know, we are right with you guys is very cool.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that. Secretary Gardapi, any other announcements? Yes. Okay, Councilwoman Butler.
Sorry. I always look for opportunities to let everyone know what our princess is doing, and I just wanted to kind of, you know, we weren't given the opportunity tonight, but she's been very busy in the quarter, so I just kind of wanted to make mention that we are updating the website with pictures. So if you go to the Pawnee Nation Princess page, pictures are there of all the representation that she's been doing. Our Facebook site's continually updated, and also our Instagram as well. So, you know, she's out there doing a lot. She's going to be doing a lot more community stuff this next couple of months. Next week, we do have the Heritage Week, and there's been flyers and stuff going out. We're going to start with the prayer breakfast, and then we have other things going on during the week next week. So just want to encourage everybody to participate. Rock Your Box is going to be on Wednesday. Rep Your Tribe is going to be on Friday. But if you have pictures that you want to send, this is for anybody to participate in. So if you have pictures that you want to send in, then that would be awesome to send them probably to the communications department. You can send them to the Princess Committee. We'll post on our page as well. But we want to get everybody's participation in that we can. So we're real every day is Indigenous Peoples Day. I'm sorry, but you know, we spend a week to do this, and I think everybody loves to bring out their ribbon skirts, and our princesses love to bring out their banners and their crowns. So we just the committee wanted to do that in honor of, you know, our princess and everything. So we just wanted to make mention of that, and she's going to be doing a lot of stuff. She's going to be reading to the kids on the 19th. She's going to be reading. I think she's doing a presentation in where she lives in Edmond. So a lot of good representation going on by our princess. We're very proud of her and the things that she's doing. So.
Yeah, she's certainly been out and about. I also have something, President Nuttall, just a
Yes.
reminder that the Pawnee veterans are going to be having their Veterans Dance on Friday, the 11th, I was reminded of. And I don't know whose flag they're flying, but I know that the honoree this year will be Gary Lee Ellis, a Vietnam veteran. And I'm always happy to see the Vietnam veterans being acknowledged because of the hardships that they incurred when they actually came home to this nation. So it's kind of cool. If you're not doing anything, bring your dishes and chairs. And the walk's going on prior to that. You want to speak to that, because I'm not.
I think it's at 9:30. There was some flyer, or 9 a.m. And where's it going to be at? At the Roundhouse. They were asking for people to send pictures and ranks of who they wanted to honor, because I guess they're going to honor those veterans that are being submitted, and it's just a walk for our veterans. So I thought that was really neat that they were doing that. Yeah.
We're cooking.
Okay, and the dance is on,
That's why I didn't pay too much.
the dance is on Friday or Saturday?
It's Friday the 11th.
Friday, the 11th.
Is that Saturday? It's Saturday, Francis Soxy. He told me it was Friday.
Just called him out.
Got a shout out tonight.
Francis Soxy.
Okay, good job, guys. Yes, Councilwoman Hare.
I just wanted to remind everybody, I think you might have got an email today, that the property committee is having a fundraiser for scholarships on Thursday. So it'll be $10 for Indian taco. We also have beans and fry bread at a lower cost. It's either 8 or 9, and then we have a salad, taco salad for those who don't want to eat fry bread. So, and healthy, we're giving out water, we're not going to do pop or anything. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. And so I want to invite everybody out. We felt kind of cheap when we didn't have much money to award, so we're really working on that so that we can award more scholarship money, because Cynthia makes us look bad.
All right, thank you for that announcement. Yes, Jamie?
So I also have a couple of other announcements too. Just a reminder to our community that the enrollment office will be closed next week for training from the 13th to the 17th, and they'll open back up on the following Monday. Also, the Title VI Advisory Elders Board will be having a movie day at the Buffalo Theater on Thursday, November 16th. They're going to be playing Barking Waters at 1 p.m. and then Smoke Signals at 6, so be there for Smoke Signals.
Barking Waters?
I've never even heard of Barking Waters.
Yeah.
And
One last announcement.
Are you finished?
No, not yet.
Okay.
And then also, they are having the Pawnee Nation, or the Pawnee County Mental Health Coalition is having Let's Chat About Mental Health on November 9th. I believe it's at the Pawnee Nation Community Center on Harrison Street, where the Tarot Building is. And so that will begin at 6 p.m. And that's collaboration with the city and the county. And then also the CRD Advisory Committee met last month in October, and we decided that we are going to be hosting the Rickrolls next year here on October 2024. We don't have a date set yet, but I just wanted to let everybody know because we're going to be doing fundraising to pay for their time here. So if anybody's wanting to donate or wanting to know more information, then they can get in contact with Herb Batson. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Butler.
And my last thing is that there was a date, we're doing the Pawnee Community Christmas event party for the community. It's mimicked after the Bikes for Tykes, and the date for that is going to be December 21st. So we'll be going around to all the businesses in town, the programs, and for donations, and doing a couple of fundraisers to raise money for that. And that's efforts of the City Council and the Pawnee Business Council. So, and it's going to be at the rodeo arena on that evening. I think it starts at 5 o'clock, and then the raffles will start at 6.
Speaking of which, this is the children's party, right? Is it possible maybe to, Jennifer, is it possible to work with TDC to see if we can't get them to have boxes for gifts, unwrapped gifts? For them, and maybe they get like a $5 free play or some type of incentive to bring toys to us. And also the employees, it'd be a great opportunity for our employees to give some kind of way. And of course, I'll be donating something.
We'll be asking for bikes, for board games, and then also adult door prizes as well. So that we'll be doing those in between, doing the bike giveaway. So there is a theme this year. They are doing a theme of Whoville. So we will have Santa, and then we'll also have the Grinch going around, so.
I don't know what
So.
that is.
So,
I'm going to have to send you the movie. Just kidding.
I told them I'm not going to be seeing.
Oh, my God. How the Grinch stole Christmas. How the Grinch Stole Christmas. That's the town. That's the town, Whoville.
You gotta see it. You gotta see it. Jamie's got something.
Okay.
So we have a couple comments on Facebook. The first is kind of a compliment from Miss Moni Horsechief. She said it was beautiful to have Pawnee Nation of Oklahoma represented with beautiful canopy and cemetery equipment, and excellent job to property. Miss Ella Mae Blackout asked, what is the Pawnee Nation or PBC stance on to propose amendments to NCIA's Constitution and bylaws to terminate state-recognized tribes from participating in meaningful tribal status with NCAI, in support or rejecting proposed amendments.
Has that been presented to intergovernmental? Yes,
So there has been concern expressed with the federally recognized tribes that the state-recognized tribes are taking over NCAI. And so I didn't really know about the pending action. I did know that they are looking to address it at NCAI.
Was there just two comments, Jamie? Okay. And then I just wanted to remind council that the Pawnee Nation Learning Center has reached out to see if anyone on council would be interested in reading, telling stories to the kids. I know that we had a couple of council that's already signed up. So right now, I believe the 9th, the 13th, and the 16th are unavailable. So if you're interested, contact Jamie and get with them on a date. Usually it's around 9:30 a.m. is what works for them. So I just wanted to throw that back out there again. Did we have any details on that? Like, do we bring our own book? Do they have books there, or what?
Provide books if you don't have one, and if you don't want to read a book, if you want to sing or just tell a story that you were taught growing up, then that's fine too.
Okay. All right.
On reschedule. I got bumped, I was on the 6th.
Didn't get.
They closed that day.
Okay, if nothing else for open forum, we'll move to item number 17, executive session.
I'll make a motion to go
Entertain
into
a motion
executive
to go
session.
into executive session.
I'll second.
Motion made by Councilwoman Butler, second by Secretary Gardapi. Let's call for the vote.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Aho.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Sammy Kimball?
Yes.
All right, let's see, what time is it? 8:41.
Cheryl has to say, so.
Yeah. By Cindy. Yes. Councilwoman Butler. 9:05. Yeah. Oh, let's call for the
Okay,
vote.
sorry.
Sorry.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Okay, at this time, we're looking at Resolution 2360, which has been presented regarding the settlement of the, how do you say the first name? Malberg Brawley settlement. Second whereas, it says quarterly virtual.
This isn't a quarterly meeting, it's actually a special meeting. Well, we recessed, so would it still be quarterly, wouldn't it?
It's quarterly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is the quarterly
We recessed.
meeting.
Take it back. Wait. I was on that last one.
Can you put my full name in there? Yeah.
What's the M stand for?
M. Maria.
I'm gonna sing that song too. Just kidding. No,
Madam President?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve this resolution with the changes.
Madam President, let me just make one comment. Part of the settlement is the terms of the settlement are confidential, which is the industry standard. And that is why the terms are not spelled out in the resolution.
Yes. Okay.
I'll second the changes.
Councilwoman Butler made a motion to approve the resolution with changes, and seconded by Secretary Gardapi. And also, would you like to amend your motion to include approval of the memorandum of settlement?
Yes, so moved.
Okay. You agree,
So moved.
Secretary Gardapi? Okay. Any further discussion? If not, we'll call for the vote.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Aho.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Sammy Kimball?
Okay. Lost my agenda.
Next meeting date.
Item number 18, set the next meeting date, which will be the third Tuesday.
21st?
Okay, so it'll be November the 21st at 5:30. Ouch. Next item we have is item number 19, adjournment. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion to adjourn.
Got a motion by Councilwoman Butler. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Councilwoman Kimball. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Hearing none, we'll adjourn at 9:10 PM.
Good job, you guys.
All right.